Hi everyone, Romain here. So your race is getting closer, you have the fitness, but do you have the plan? In HYROX, the difference between enjoying your race and suffering for 90 minutes isn't just your cardio, it's your decision making. Most athletes burn themselves out simply by rushing into stations or getting lost. Today, we're going to fix that so that you can cross that finish line with a smile and maybe set a personal best. Right, so what is strategy in HYROX? Think of it as a long road trip where you only have one tank of gas to reach your destination. If you floor the pedal and drive aggressively, you might go fast for a while, but you will run out of fuel and end up on the side of the road. Strategy in HYROX isn't about finding a shortcut, it's about managing gas, aka your energy, so that you don't end up pushing your car across that finish line. We will cover the general mindset, the rock zone, the running side of HYROX. We'll do a breakdown of every single station, and finally, we'll see specific tactics for doubles and relay. Let's get to work. Let's talk mindset. Your fitness level is determined by the training you did. On race day, your training is over. You cannot get fitter in the next hour, but you can be faster by being smarter. This brings us to the golden rule here: efficiency over power. Remember our car with one tank of gas? Many athletes redline their engine right from the start. They sprint, then they stop to breathe, then they sprint again, then they stop again. This stop and go is destroying your fuel economy. Your goal here is constant movement. So if you have to stop on the side, put your hands on your knees to recover, that means that you're going too fast. So how do you know if the pace is right? Each time you finish a station, you should be able to run immediately after the last repetition. Let's say you finish your burpees. If you need 20 seconds to recover with your hands on your knees again, then you went too hard on the station. Instead, slow down the repetition so that you can speed up the transitions. When we think about HYROX, we think about the run and the stations, but we tend to forget about the rock zone. The rock zone is the area where the transition between the runs and the station is happening. While it can look like a recovering area, the time spent in the rock zone still adds up to your total time at the end. So every second spent walking, breathing, hesitating counts. To avoid wasting time there, just follow those 3 simple rules. Rule number 1, do not walk. Walking from your entry until your station kills your momentum, wastes a lot of time. Instead, even if you're really tired, do a slow jog, which is going to be twice as fast as walking and won't require that much energy. Rule number 2, know your path. The rock zone can be chaotic. There is an in arch, an out arch, a lot of people around you. Check the map before going to the race. Know every entrance of every station, know where to go. Don't get lost and waste time in there. And rule number 3, drink smart. You do not need to stop at every single water station. Stopping to grab a cup takes time, plus you might feel bloated on the next station. Let's talk about the run. We talk a lot about the weight on the sled or the 100 wobbles, but the truth is, running represents about 60% of your total time spent on track. If there is one part of your race that you need to nail, it is this one. So, how should you run? Stick to your conversational pace. It will feel a bit easy at the beginning of your race, but then arriving on 3rd or 4th round, it's going to start feeling right. This said, while you should be able to hold that pace all along the race, there is one moment where you should slow down. It's before the hard stations. This will calm you down, relax your heart rate, and you will be able to transition right away into the repetition instead of waiting for, let's say, 30 seconds to catch your breath even though you arrive faster. Aside of that, there are 2 main mistakes that you absolutely need to avoid. The first one is the one that everyone makes. When you start HYROX, you're inside a gate with a lot of other athletes like you. Everyone is hyped up. The music is loud and the crowd is cheering. So what everyone does is everyone sprint out of the gate. It's a mistake you do not want to make, as you will pay it for the next hour of your race. Your goal is not to be fast now, it's to be steady until the end. Mistake number 2 is a technical one. It's lap counting. It may sound simple, but when oxygen starts missing from your brain, it becomes tricky to know if you ran 2 laps, maybe 3. Missing a lap is a 3-minute penalty, and running 1 more lap is, well, there are 2 ways to be safe about it. There is usually a screen on track with information about every racer, you included, and the amount of lap that you have left, or that you have made already. Second one is, if you have a watch, connected or not, just a watch. Start the timer at the beginning of the race and check the time when you start running. If you usually run 1 kilometer in 6 minutes and you arrive at the gate you're at 3.5 minutes, you probably have one more lap to go. Moving on to the stations, and we start with station 1, the ski area. So you just started, the crowd is cheering up, the music is loud, and you feel fresh. This is a trap. You will want to push, but even worse, you will be able to push. It's very important that you don't, or you might blow your heart rate for the rest of the race. Now, the strategy for the ski. Here's the math. If you go 10 seconds slower per 500 meter, you will feel incredibly easy. Over the full course of 1,000 meters, you will lose a total of 20 seconds. Is it worth destroying your lungs to gain 20 seconds? Those 20 seconds are an investment. You will gain them back right after the ski because you will be able to run immediately instead of grasping air and stumbling. Decide your pace before the race. In order to do that, get on a machine when you have a moment and do a hard 500 meters. It doesn't mean sprint, give it about 85%. You will get the time you need for 500 meters on a hard one, add between 10 and 15 seconds to that number, and that's your pace for the race. And finally, technical detail, the dumper. By default, when you arrive on the ski, it will be set to 5. You can let it there, or go up to 6 or 7, but do not go above that because it will require much more strength and you need that strength for later. Station 2, the sled push. This is where the race gets heavy. The main mistakes is to stand tall and to push with your arms. This will push it down to the ground and increase friction. Instead, get low. Put your shoulders against the poles, keep your arm close to your body, and drive with your legs horizontal. Once the sled starts moving, do not stop. It will take you 3 times more energy to start the sled than to keep it moving. The goal here is to try to finish the lane in one push. If you need to take a rest, do it at the end of the lane. Breathe a bit and then go again, but never stop in the middle of it. This is also because the sled has a delaying effect. You might be fine while pushing it, but once you stop, your heart rate will skyrocket. This is totally normal. But because of that, do not rush out of the station. Instead, jog a bit until your heart rate stabilizes and then you can run again at the right pace. Station 3, the sled pull. There are 3 main things to know. The first one is to not use your biceps. Your arms are super small compared to your legs. So if you pull it with T-Rex arms, then you won't last until the end of the station. Instead, lean back, keep your arms completely straight, and drive with your legs. Second one is to use the box strategy. When you're on a sled pull, you will see that you're inside a box. The goal here is to pull from the beginning of your box until the end of your box and not just make small pull in the middle of it. By doing this, you'll reduce the amount of transition that you have to make and you won't waste time. Finally, be careful of the slack in the rope. If the sled is still far, you will see that the rope is not tight. So when you catch it the first time and you start pulling it, the rope will tighten, but it won't pull the sled. Instead, pull several times with your arms until the rope is tightened and then only start driving with your legs. Quick safety warning. When you pull the sled, you will see that the rope piles up behind you. Be careful as you might step on it, twist an ankle, or trip. Station 4, burpees broad jump. This station is a math game. You have 80 meters to cover. If you do small jumps, you might have to do 60 burpees. If you do long jumps, you then might have only 40 burpees. So my advice is this: focus on the distance per rep instead of how fast you do those reps. Now careful, I said long jumps, not an attempt at the world record on each rep. Try to find a balance in between the distance and the effort needed to go that distance. Also, some people might have sweat before you arrive there and it might be a bit slippery. So if you do big jumps, you might slip when you push and you might slip when you land. I have 2 other tips that you might not be aware, which is playing with the rules to get you more distance on each reps. The first one is that you are allowed to place your hands up to 30 centimeters in front of your toes when going down. This is basically free distance. Over 80 meters, claiming this gap on every rep can save you 10 plus meters of jumping. Second one is that you are allowed to step down and up on each burpee instead of jumping, so do that. Stepping up 1 foot at a time does 2 things. It will keep your heart rate under control, but also stepping up allows you to place your foot as close as possible to the limit and again, save some distance. Now that you know those tips, remember, on burpees, the goal is to keep on moving perfectly for 80 meters instead of sprinting 20 and then needing 5 minutes to rest. Station 5, the rower. We are now halfway through the race. The strategy here is identical to the ski. The damper, check it before you sit. It should be between 5 and 7, do not touch the 10. The pace, remember the math, going 10 seconds slower per 500 meter saves your life and only costs you 20 seconds total. Stick to the pace you decided before the race. Do not try to make up time because you feel guilty about the burpees. And one last thing about the rower, focus on smooth rhythm. Drive with your legs, not your arms. You have the farmer carries coming up next, so your grip needs to rest. This station is your last moment of controlled cardio. Use the rower to stabilize your breathing. If you leave this seat grasping for air, the second half of the race will be a nightmare. Station 6, farmer carry. Farmer carry is very simple. If you lose your grip, you're done. The tactic here is to use the entry of the rock zone to count down. If you need water, drink it now. Wipe your hands dry on your shorts. You need to be fresh enough on this station to finish it unbroken. Once you pick up those weights, an invisible timer starts on your forearm. Do not run, but don't stroll either. Power walk, short, fast, aggressive steps. Squeeze your core to stabilize the weight, look straight ahead and move fast. Finally, if you are wearing running shoes, those are often unstable. Slow down on the U-turn and don't try to make a sharp turn to avoid an ankle injury. Station 7. Sandbag lunges. The rule is strict. You cannot drop the bag. If you drop it, you will have to clean it back up on your shoulders, which costs some energy there, but also you'll get a penalty of 15 seconds the first time and a disqualification on the second time. So once the bag is on your shoulders, it stays there until the finish line. Now, how do we survive this without dropping? Step, touch the floor with your knee, then bring your feet together, breathe, and go again. Treat every lunge as a single rep. This feels slower, but it prevents your heart rate from going too fast and helps you keep your balance. If you can keep on walking continuously, do so, but make sure that you don't have to stop on the side for a minute with a cramp. Once again, careful with running shoes. Their instability can make you lose balance and fall. Spread a bit your feet left and right to correct that. Be also mindful of the impact of your knee on the floor. You have to touch the floor for the rep to count, but don't smash it there. Station 8, the wall balls. You are almost home, but be careful. This is the easiest station to fail because of one thing: no reps. A no rep here is expensive. It costs you one full squat and a throw for nothing. And at this stage of fatigue, you cannot afford doing free reps. So focus on standards. Hips below knees, ball hits the target every time. Do not rush. One perfect rep is faster than 2 bad ones. So if you start hitting no reps, take a breather. Once the standard is on point, how do we tackle this challenge? First, cut the 100 reps in several sets that you decide before the race. Otherwise, you might end up doing a set a bit too long that will burn you, and then you will have to survive doing 3 to 4 reps at a time. And my tip on this, instead of going with equal sets, like 5 times 20, go with decremental sets, because each set that you will start will be smaller, shorter than the previous one. Mentally, it is much easier as you get closer to the finish line. So just like on ski and rower, when you have a moment, try some wall balls and see what feels right for you. Try to adapt those sets to your level so that each set is challenging but doable. And once the last rep hits the floor, run, smile, cross that finish line. So if you're a solo participant, everything I just said applies to you. Now, if you're in a team, there might be some specificities, and we're going to see that right now. Let's start with doubles. The way it goes is, you do the run together, and then you share the reps on the stations, the way you want it. This means, and listen carefully, running is still 60% of the race. You only share the 40% left on the stations. This also means that you're just as fast as your slowest member. If one of you explodes, the team stops. So the goal here is not to show off who is the strongest of the team. The goal here is to protect the teammate that is struggling. And this leads us to the biggest mistake you can do in a double. I call it the fatigue spiral. Here is how it goes. Partner A is tired and slows down on the station. Then partner B, who just got more rest and feels fresh, tries to make up time by going faster. That means partner A just had less rest, is even more tired, is even going even slower. It just keeps on going until A explodes. Avoid that absolutely. And the fix to this is pretty easy. If your partner is struggling, shorten their set immediately or make yours longer, but don't let them drown. Now that you're aware of this, how do you split the work efficiently? Well, on ergs, ski and roll, don't do 500 meters and 500 meters. That's too long and one will go back running fresh while the other one tries to breathe. Switch every 250 meters, that's enough. On sleds, lunges, farmers, do one full lane each. Switching in the middle creates awkward transitions and stops the momentum. Also, don't drop the back there, that's still forbidden. On burpees and wall balls, speed is key. Do short sets, keep the intensity high. Now, however you split the rep, do not overlook the time for transition. If you take 30 seconds to switch partner each time, it adds up and creates a huge waste of time at the end of your race. Be careful on this. And finally, the most important one for doubles. Communication is key. Drop the ego. If you're in the red zone, say it. It's better to admit now that you need a break than to wait and push until failure until the team stops. So communicate, say when something is wrong, and so you guys can adapt along the race. Now let's move on to relay. In this format, each teammate will have to do 2 runs and 2 stations by themselves. This means if you're in a relay team, forget everything I just said about eco-driving. This is not a road trip, this is a series of sprints. You'll do a short, intense effort followed by a lot of rest. So on the run and on the stations, push hard. Don't be afraid to burn fuel because you will have plenty of time to refill the tank while your teammates are working. Now, the secret to a fast relay is allocation. Who does what? First, here are the forbidden combos that you should avoid at all costs. Sled push plus lunges. Your quads will simply shut down. Sled pull and farmer carry. You will drop the kettlebell. Burpees plus wall balls. Unless you really hate your teammate, do not give them this combo. So, how should you split the work? Here are ideal combos based on athletic profiles. This first is for the strong teammate. Give them sled push plus roar. It's pure power, mostly legs, but with enough rest in between. Second is for the hybrid one. Give them sled pull plus lunges. They need cardio and strength. Third, the cardio teammate. Give them ski erg and wall balls. Having literally first and last station, your cardio teammate can shine here and send it. Finally, for the explosive one, give them burpees plus farmer's carry. Since the farmer's carry is Zen cardio, they can go 100% all out on the burpees broad jumps. Fair warning though, remember that you owe this person a beer for taking the burpees. Good, now everyone has all the technical tips, but how do you put them together to create a race plan? Start with your running pace. This is your anchor. Ask yourself, which pace can I hold for 1+ hour without stopping? This is your race pace. Just remember, you will run compromised because of every station along the way. Start slow and go faster if possible, instead of starting fast and not being able to hold the pace. Now that you have your running pace, add the stations. Overall, you cannot aim for a special time on each station, so instead, target a feeling. Try to target an effort on each one that allows you to quickly go back to the running pace that you just decided right after the last rep. By doing this, you won't be the fastest finisher of the burpees, but your overall time will be much better than trying to nail every station individually. And to help you build this strategy, I have prepared 2 things for you in the description of this video. The HYROX strategy checklist. It's a printable sheet to write down your plan, erg pace, wall ball set, etc. Don't go to the race without filling this out. Second is the official rulebook. Strategy is useless if you get penalized. Take 10 minutes to read the standards for each movement. Knowing the rule is free time saved. Here you have it. Mistakes to avoid, how to build your own strategy. But before I let you go, just remember one thing. Unless you're elite athletes aiming for a sub 1 hour race, we are here to have fun. Performance is nice, we all want a personal best. But putting yourself under a massive amount of pressure is just going to make the experience unpleasant. You have trained hard, you are ready. Do not let stress ruin the celebration of your fitness. Organize your strategy based on your goals, not on someone else's. Stick to the plan, trust the math, and most importantly, cross that finish line with a smile. Good luck, team. I'll see you on the track.